Coming out of my house and I've been doing just fine. Gotta see people cause I want them all. Started out with a kiss, how did it end up like this? It was only a kiss, Seth. It was only a kiss.
What you say?
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do
Of
well.
course you did. What you say?
I said let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best podcast.
What you say?
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
Just what we need. Be you decided this.
Hold up, I
What
thought we
you
both
say?
decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to Whatcha Say, an OC podcast. My name is Lise Daly.
Yeah, I'm Scott Daly.
Together,
We're
the Dailies.
What was that for?
Whatcha Say?
You can't just mix it up 67 episodes in.
I can, and I did.
No.
I did.
I refuse to accept it.
Well, I already did it.
I don't like change, and I don't want it.
I know you don't like change, but I already did it, and we've moved past it, we've accepted it, and we're going
not.
to continue.
You can't just decide that we've moved past it.
I think we did.
This is the podcast where each and every week my wife Elise and I go through the hit 2000s teen drama The OC episode by episode. This week on the show we are covering season 2 episode 4, The New Era. And it is a new era in the show and in the world.
I like that connection you just made there, Scott.
It's not a good era though.
No. But before we get into the new era of the OC, we're going to talk about the Rosies and the Thornies of our own weeks, Scott. This is the part of the show where you and I look back on the last week and we talk about the good, the bad, the Rosies, the Thornies, and always we're going to start with the bad. So, Scott, what's your thorn for this past week?
I'm going to get a little political this week. I think we
What
have
else
to.
is new?
Well, here's the thing. You and I don't know if you knew this, Elise. We're white. We're white people.
Yes, I know.
And there was a lot of protests happening over this past weekend over the death of George Floyd, a black man who was pinned down by a knee on his neck for almost 9 minutes by the police, and he died, and it was awful. And there's a lot of protesting police violence again because so I was listening to a podcast today, and they actually said that since the Ferguson protests, a lot of people think, oh, they protested and then people listened and then changes were happened.
No.
Actually, the number of black people killed by police since Ferguson is higher than it was before Ferguson. So that's awful. Anyway, the point is, this is one of those things where I feel weird talking, right? Because you and I are white people, like we have never experienced the systemic racism that these people can experience. But also I recognize that we have a platform. It's a small platform, but we have a platform. And I feel like when you have a platform, you have some obligation to speak. So all I'm going to say here is Black Lives Matter. And I am horrified at the actions that the police across this country have taken over the course of this past weekend. And it's awful. And I am so proud of the people out there protesting and standing up for what they believe in. And I think all of us need to listen to these people. And that's all I really wanted to say. But it's I think that the death of George Floyd, that video is like one of the worst videos I've ever seen. Like that, like haunted me to my core. Like it's so blatant and obvious, and yet the man was not arrested, and the like 4 other cops stood around him and watched him do this. And I don't know what people want people to do anymore. Like there's a whole thing, if you kneel down during a football game, that's not acceptable protest. What could people do? And so this is where we're at now. And I don't know. I am just going to be, I've been listening to a lot of people over the course of the past couple of days, and I am both horrified and proud at the same time. And I don't know what to do with that, you know, but I didn't want it to go without being mentioned, because I'm talking into a microphone to a few hundred people right now.
And I think what is important to remember too is that as humans, we like to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And when we are forced to be uncomfortable, or we recognize that we have to get uncomfortable in order to make something change, we don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that right now, in order for something to change, we all have to get uncomfortable. And
Yep.
that is against human nature. And I think that that is one of the hardest, or one of the biggest hurdles, but people's willingness to be uncomfortable and to listen and to have a conversation and to recognize that I want to have this conversation because on my part, I recognize I need to learn something. On your part, I need you to teach me. And in you teaching me, please help me so that we can make it better together.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of, just different things that have to happen in order for change in order to take place. But I think something else that's important too is I was listening to, oddly enough, my Peloton instructor who is, was speaking out and doing this, a ride that was yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
but I did it today. And, she was talking about how it's good to like things. It's good to post pictures. It's good to say something, but you need to do something. And what are you doing?
Yeah.
And so I just think that that's part of it is what are you doing? What are you learning? What are you trying to help with? Because if all that you're going to do is like a post because it supports something that you believe, but then that stops there, that's not really doing anything.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And it's just awful. And I don't my thing is I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I have an obligation to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there's plenty of places you can donate right now. For you and I, money is very tight. So I'm going to donate a little bit of money, but we really don't have that much disposable income right now. But
well, and what I'm excited about too is that one of the reasons I chose to go into the profession that I actually am in, aside from this, is because I feel like it's one of the most
aside from podcasting,
yeah, it's one of the most powerful and influential things because, you think about how much you learn when you're a kid
mm-hmm.
and how much your world is shaped by the people who you see and spend time with every day, and it's by me getting to teach people how to have relationships and see people beyond who their normal friends are based on whether it be the color of their skin or how much money they have or anything.
Sure.
It's just that's where I know that the change can eventually happen is when you have those conversations and when the people who are going to be in positions to make change are listening and respectful of others. And so that's what I know I'm going to be able to do is be educated in order to help with that and make sure that that's on the forefront of what we do.
Yeah. I mean, the system that we live in, supports you and I. We, for the most part, me more than you, but the system we live in, protects us. I'm a white, straight, middle-class man. The system that is built to cater to me.
Because it was built by you.
Yeah. So I have never in my life really experienced the system just not working. And so when I look at it and say well, the way to fix this is through the system. Well, what if the system is broken? And that's what these people are saying. That's what there's the system is broken. It is broken.
Yeah.
And it is very difficult to fix a broken system through that very same broken system. One of the things I heard about today, I knew this, but I'd never put it together. The day Martin Luther King was assassinated, there were protests for 6 days. And on the 6th day is when the Civil Rights Act was passed. And so the idea that this kind of protest doesn't work is just wrong. And that, so to tell these people, no, go home, don't do this, this is not the way, what else is there? I mean, like the thing that frustrates me the most is seeing people on the internet kind of tell people how to express their outrage. Like I don't think it's my place at all to tell someone how they're supposed to react to moral outrage, to systemic racism, to any of these things. And I don't want to spend the whole show on this because we're a funny, light show and we have a good time. But I felt like I couldn't not talk about it. You know, for one of my other shows for the Doofcast, I'm going to be watching some movies about this very thing. I think Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee's movie from the 80s. It is amazing to me how 40 years later that movie is just as prescient. Like it is just as important. We're still talking about the same things that movie talked about way back then. And I'm going to be we're watching that movie this week because I this is what I do when the world gets difficult for me to understand. When it gets too much, I retreat to film. And so knowing that, I'm going to at least try to retreat to a film that can remind me about these things. And so that's what I'm going to do. But I didn't mean to bring the whole show down. We probably spent too much time on this, but yeah, my thorn is the state of the world, the state of our broken ass police system in this country. It sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah, it does.
All right, Elise, what was your thorn? It's a little more personal for you and us, you and I think.
Well, some people may already know we had Penny. We adopted her into our family in November.
That's a dog.
And
you
a
need
dog.
to specify.
Yeah, a dog. But this past weekend, we have been noticing that she holds one of her legs up higher than the other and like hops around on three legs fairly regularly in the past couple weeks. And so we thought that something was wrong. Of course, I diagnose it myself and decide that it's hip dysplasia, which means she's going to have to have surgery and it's going to be awful. And she keeps doing this thing. So I was like, we need to take her into the vet so at least we know.
Mm-hmm.
So $250 later on Saturday, we realize that it's not her hips, it's her knees, which I guess is better. They said it's fine as long as she bounces back quick, then all is well.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. But then on Sunday, we woke up to the smell of poop. And she had pooped a couple times in her crate. She'd thrown up, so I took her out. And when she came back in, Scott was trying to pick her up because she won't jump on the bed. And that's one of the things with her knees. And he had felt blood, or he felt something wet. It turned out to be blood. Long story short, we took her into the vet to get checked out. And they gave us some meds. And $350 later, we find out that she just ate something toxic and is passing it through her body, and all is fine now. But it was an expensive weekend with Penny, and also a very stress-filled, worry-filled weekend with Penny. And Scott will always just try to tell you what it's like with me, but if you don't know, I worry about a lot of things. And once my mind has decided that it's going to worry about something, it just won't stop. So that's why we have to spend the money in order to get me to stop. But then, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it was a lot of money. I think the thing that made it the worst is that this happened over the weekend, and we had to go back to the same place we went when our last dog was sick, which resulted in that dog passing away. Yeah. So it was a lot of emotional memories as we're back sitting in front of the same place. And what makes matters worse with the COVID-19 stuff going on right now, we couldn't go into the vet hospital with her. We had to drop her off.
I almost feel like that was better for me.
I was sitting in the car when you were hyperventilating, so...
I was not hyperventilating. I just had to pee.
You were losing it.
My bladder was going to explode.
It was not just your bladder. It was like, this is taking so long. I can't see her. Don't know what's going on.
No, I was more worried about when they weren't taking her. Because I was like, I don't know what's wrong. She's not around the doctors. She could be internally bleeding right here in my lap.
She wasn't.
She wasn't.
Yeah. It's just a lot. Like, you grab your dog by its bum to lift it up onto your bed, and you take your hand feels wet, and you take it away and see blood on your hand. That's not a good feeling.
No.
So yeah, it was a very stressful weekend. all across the board. It was not a good weekend. This is not my favorite
I had
weekend.
a really bad weekend. I had a really bad weekend.
I did too. But it's over now.
With
and
other
that's
things, but yeah.
the good thing.
It was just awful.
And let's focus on the good things in our lives. So those are some terrible things. So let's look on.
Let's do that.
At least there's some good still.
Let's do that. I've
So
got
what's
two
your
little
rose?
things. Two little things. Number one, Scott, I finally got my hair cut.
So you
Guys, I don't
how long
grow
has it
my
been?
hair very long. First of all, I always get my hair cut short. My hair is typically like right around my shoulders, if not higher. Like it's pretty short.
Mm-hmm.
But I was scheduled to go get my hair cut on the Saturday of the week that the salons closed that Tuesday. So I literally missed it by just
This is
days.
back in March. Like back
in
when
March.
coronavirus first
And
hit.
they were closed. And then when I finally called to get an appointment, I had to wait for 2 hours before I could get through. And then the first appointment was on a Monday at 5:30, which they're never open on Mondays. They have to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday in order to be able to help clean afterwards. But guys, I got my hair cut. All is well in the world. Not really. I'm sorry.
That's the exact opposite of that.
In my
all is well in your hair world.
Specifically hair world. All is better.
Good.
So that's one thing. But then also, guys, if you've listened to this podcast for a year, you know how much I love The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And you know how much I love the Titan games. And guys, the Titan games are back and they are better than ever because they've done a couple of things in order to spice up the show, and I'm here for it. And so is Scott.
Yeah. So
The
for those that don't know, the Titan Games is a show on NBC.
It's on NBC. It's a reality competition show.
Yeah. It's basically really large people do like very like
athletic things. But it used to be like, let's get these homegrown people who are just ordinary people and make them titans. But this season, you've got to beat a titan to be a titan. And so DJ handpicked some athletes that are professional athletes that then...
He's a former center in the NFL, Pro Bowler. The other one was a woman. A boxer. She won the boxing gold medal at the last Olympics. Yeah. She's also the middleweight champion of the world.
Yeah, whatever. She's not a Titan anymore. So anyways, you have these ordinary people and they go head to head in the best 2 out of 3 to see who's going to take on the Titan at Mount Olympus. And then the two people go, and if the normal person beats the Titan, then they become the new Titan, and then they compete as the Titan and all the ones that go forward. And it's just a great show. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. It's really wonderful. It's very silly. It's very like over the top. It's very Dwayne Johnson. But it's pretty fun. I mean, these are like very, very strong people doing very, very difficult physical challenges, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I enjoy it a lot too.
I forgot you enjoyed it. I'm sorry.
She started watching it without me. Like I
didn't start watching it without you. I started watching it knowing that you were going to go leave to go do something, forgetting that you liked the show. So then you stayed and watched it.
Yeah. So Matt, sorry, the script for Kingslingers is late this week because I had to watch the Titan Games, which turned out to be a 90-minute show.
But you know what,
You didn't tell me that, Elise.
I didn't know that. You're welcome.
You want to know what my rose is?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll move on to the episode then.
Oh, no, I do. I actually like that rose. Go for it.
Such a jerk. My rose is running. So I've been running lately, although I did not do it today, and I need to get back into it. The whole weekend fiasco really effed up my schedule. But I have not been exercising lately, and the whole quarantine shit and my furlough at work has gotten me really down, and I just wasn't doing anything. I just wasn't doing anything. But then a couple weeks ago, I realized that, hey, this is probably going to be this is not just a short-term thing. Like my life is going to be changed now one way or another. Even if I go back to work at my job I have right now, it's still not going to be the same. So I'm like, I got to get my shit in gear. And it's very hard to talk to you, at least when you're checking your haircut out in the mirror.
I just love it.
Very difficult.
I I love it.
So the point is I started going running, and I'm so out of shape. So I got one of those Couch to 5K apps that just basically walk you through it. I'm on week 3 now. It's going great. I still hate running because here's the thing about running. I told you this when we went for a walk the other day.
True.
I loved running when I was in shape, and it's some of the most fun. Huh?
Loved.
Yeah.
I'm emphasizing the past tense for everybody.
I can't. Sure.
Scott, just continue.
But once you fall out of shape, getting into running again is like the hardest thing in the world because it's just going to suck for like a month and a half to 2 months. You're just going to feel miserable. It's never going to feel good. You're never going to get into a rhythm. And you just have to grind through that until you finally get in good enough shape to actually go for a run, to run for a couple miles and feel good. And I'm not there yet, but I'm forcing myself to go. I'm waking up every morning and going, and I've got my schedule down. And I didn't do it today because last night I was just messed up with freaking Titan games. But
Scott.
Yeah.
I need to run with you this month because my activity challenge is to get 52 miles.
I don't think I'm going to run 52 miles this
For
month.
the whole month?
No. Did I not tell you that I'm out of shape? Like really badly.
Yes, but aren't we walking some too?
Sure.
Okay. I just need to get out there with you. Maybe not every day, but some days. Is that good?
Sure.
Okay.
Love it.
Thanks.
All right. And that's my rose. So let's move on to this television show that we're supposed to be talking about. It's 23 minutes into the episode and we haven't started talking about it.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have to move quickly, okay?
Oh, let's move so quickly. Elise, talk to me about
Let me tell you
this
about
episode.
The New Era. It's the 4th episode of season 2 of The OC. It was written by J.J. Philbin and directed by Michael Fresco, who previously directed the season 1 episodes, The Perfect Couple and The Countdown. It originally aired on December 2nd, 2004. And in case you forgot, J.J. Philbin is Regis Philbin's daughter.
That is true. I do not remember what The Perfect Couple or The Countdown were about at all.
The Perfect Couple was the one where Marissa was on the yacht and she spoiled the whole thing about how Julie and Caleb were actually together. And then The Countdown was the New Year's Eve episode where Ryan runs.
He did not choose summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, is that the one where we did the live action performance art
Yeah.
of Ryan running?
Nothing can compare to when you roll the dice and swear your love's for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that one.
all
Do you
right.
remember those episodes
I
now?
do now.
Okay.
This week on the New Era, it's...
Are you impressed that I knew what those were?
I'm honestly, yes, very impressed. It's a new era in the OC as Seth and Ryan are single and looking to mingle. They go out on dates with the new girls, Lindsay and Alex, but quickly realize that they are with the wrong one, and they swap.
I'm sorry. I have to pause for a second.
Why?
I was watching this thing about COVID-19 and childcare places that have to like disinfect. Anyway, there's this song that they made up to teach kids how to wash their hands.
Okay.
And I think it was like the jingle fingle mingle or something like that.
I'm glad we eventually got around to why this popped into your head right now.
The jingle mingle, fingle something.
So yeah, they swap girls. They do a girl swap. Also, Julie realizes she knows nothing about running a company, but sure knows how to throw a party, which I guess apparently is all the CEO needs to do.
It's all about schmoozing.
Also, Caleb is being like shady and stuff, and we don't really know why, but he's like blowing off Sandy and giving money to some strange lady. And it's one of those plot lines that's just setting up something else, and we don't know yet. So that's happening.
It is. It's one of those
Elise,
things.
what did you think of episode 4 of season 2 of the OC?
Of course, episode 4 is great. All these episodes are pretty good right now. Again, got some action going on at the bait shop. Another wonderful band, The Killers, before The Killers got to be really big, which is why they were able to be on the show. You get more of the Alex dynamic and how she's going to possibly interact with the 4 core, which is fun.
The 4 core.
Yeah, I just made that up. Don't you kind of like it?
Sure.
You kind of do, don't you? Anyways, it's just fun. All the four core have their new people for this new era. And we're going to get to see how each of those relationships either grows or blows.
Jesus. You and the rhyming today. You need to knock it off.
Okay. What did you think, Scott?
I liked it. 3 episodes in a row now that I thought have been pretty good, really.
That first episode, it's the worst.
I see what you mean now. I didn't hate it as much as you, but comparatively, I see what you mean.
Once you see the whole season, you're like, man, this is really bad.
I like the music in this episode was so good, and that's because half of it is Killers songs, which I love the Killers. 2004. I was talking to my friend about this today. That 2004 is like my peak music listening to time because I was like a freshman and a sophomore in college. I think I was a sophomore when this episode came out. 2004. Yeah, I was a sophomore in college. And this is like when I listened to the most music. And so like the palette of music in this show, even this year, is even more in sync with me than last year's was. I loved the Killers. I love the Killers. I actually think like one of the very interesting things our director does is he shoots the music scenes where the Killers are just playing on stage. Like they're really cool. It's a lot of fast cuts. It's a lot of fun cutting of different members of the Killers. It's like a stage performance, and
pretty good.
I kind of forgot about the show for a little bit there.
Yeah.
I wanted to put the Killers as my rose, but I thought that would be weird to put my rose of the show as the musical guest.
It's okay.
It felt weird.
You could do that. I would accept it.
I decided not to. But
I would accept it and accept you, Scott.
man, Smile Like You Mean It. That's a good song.
I got soul, but I'm not a soldier.
I don't think that one was out yet.
No,
I think that's their next album.
Yeah.
After that, after this one.
I know, but it's a killer song.
I know. Well, yes.
Okay.
All right. So good episode overall, we thought. So
overall.
Let's jump into it and talk about what our favorite parts were of it.
Yes.
Ooh, but first, we got to talk about what our least favorite parts were of the episode. So Elise, what was your OC thorn? Your thorn thnosi?
I don't like what Julie's doing with the company. I don't like how she's treating Kirsten. I don't like Julie in this episode.
So as a refresher, Julie Cooper at the end of last episode assumed the mantle of CEO. And as you and I talked about last week, we thought she was going to take that and run with it a little bit.
You thought.
I thought. Don't ruin the game. I thought she's going to take that and run with it in some bad directions. And I think this episode proved that outright. So what's she doing in this episode? What is she doing that you hate so much?
Well, she completely disregards all of the hard work that Kirsten has done for this project, for this meeting with these big people that are going to, I guess, invest money, hopefully, in the group for real estate. And then once Julie sits down and makes Kirsten go away, she realizes how in over her head she is and decides that the only way she can make it better is to throw a party and grope people.
Yeah.
Which is just, Julie, like, no. That's not how you run a business. It's not how you treat your daughter-in-law. And it's definitely how you lose business, friends, and family.
But it all works out for her, babe. It all works out. No, nothing.
Right now.
I, Elise, am actually going to disagree with you on this one. I loved this stuff. I mean, I hate Julie. I totally hate Julie. But I thought it was hilarious. I thought the moment where she walks in on the board meeting where Kirsten is explaining the investment to, he's actually the guy that played one of the presidents on 24. He's one of the ones that was the traitor. And so every time I see that guy, I'm like, you fucking traitor.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate you.
He's real bad. But way to spoil 24 for everyone.
Oh my God. No one gives a shit about 24. But I loved the way in which it made fun of her. First of all, where she's like, Kirsten, I need a copy of this put on my desk. Toot sweet. Toot sweet.
I think Mr. Herbert and I can take it from here, Kiki. Will you give me a copy of this document? I need it on my desk. Toot sweet.
Julie, that's the lunch menu.
Choo.
It's the lunch menu.
Julie, that's the lunch menu. And then she makes Kirsten go do it anyway, sits down, what's your next question? And he asks her some super complex business question about like hedging for interest rate changes or something.
So what's your next question?
How do you explain the company's failure to hedge its portfolio against the rise of long-term interest rates?
Yes.
And she just has no idea what she's talking about. And here's the part where I'm with you on this, on Thornwise. She goes to Jimmy for moral support. Again, second episode in a row where she's gone to Jimmy for like support on dealing with this whole thing. And he again gives her a pep talk and is like, "You're Julie Cooper. You can do whatever you do, what you do best. Don't run it her way, run it your way." He's like, or just let her run it. Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing, Julie Cooper.
Yep.
But
way to screw everyone over, Jimmy.
I'm starting to think, I mean...
What are you starting to think?
They're doing something with this Julie Jimmy thing.
Are they?
Yeah. You were terrible at being coy. Like, you're the worst.
On some things.
I just see the look on your face, and it's like, oh, I've guessed something right, because I can see it on her face.
There are some things that I am not alluding to that I know you would pick up on as soon as I just pointed out these little itsy bitsy teensy tiny details.
Okay.
And I'm not. I'm not, Scott.
Wow, you deserve all the credit in the world for that, Elise.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, I don't it seems like they're gonna rekindle the Jimmy Julie romance in the future, and I just don't want them to do that. Can you imagine how Marissa's gonna act to that? Badly. It's not gonna go well if that happens.
Well, Marissa doesn't like her mom anyway.
Marissa doesn't like anything.
It's true.
Marissa doesn't like
DJ
a damn
right now.
thing. Oh, thank you for the beautiful transition to my Thorn.
Yep.
Because my Thorn is DJ.
What about him, Scott?
DJ the yard guy. So we talked about DJ in the very first episode and how I thought, even in, I think, last week's episode, or two, look, all the episodes run together. We talked about DJ and how I thought he was a boring character who had no personality.
We did.
He's like a blank slate. He's nothing. They didn't characterize him at all. And I figured that the reason they were doing this is because he wasn't going to matter. He was going to be this summer fling thing, and then she was going to ditch him quick. But the show is going...
He's here.
He's here.
Ain't he?
And like, he's in this episode again, and she's trying to rekindle things with him. And at the end of the episode, like, he is driving by and sees her car parked by the beach because she's out sitting on the lighthouse stand that she and Ryan used to go to, like looking out into the ocean and pondering existence. And he shows up, and she's just like, and then they rekindle their romance.
Which you know what that means, Scott.
What does it mean?
When it's rekindled, it means it's not just going to die very quickly, because they brought it back to life. Right?
What? I don't...
That's what that means, Scott.
I'm not...
That's what that means, Scott.
Is this like a metaphor? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
I'm so confused.
They brought him back, so it's not just going
like
to be over.
It's like a zombie... Are you going for like a zombie thing?
No. I was going for nothing, Scott.
I don't understand.
Just going for the fact that they've invested time, so it's not going to go away just right after this episode.
It could. It could still.
Is it,
He
Scott?
could die. He could die.
Is it? We can't have that many people die in this season.
Stop it. Yeah, I don't like DJ. I think he's boring.
How many people do you think die in the whole show?
In the whole show? 17.
How many people do you think this season?
In this season? 3.
Interesting.
I'm just throwing out numbers. I have no idea.
Interesting guess.
But
remember, people don't say anything. Scott doesn't know anything.
They can't say... What are you talking about?
I'm just saying on like forums and stuff.
On the forums? We're all over the forums.
I don't know where people talk about this OC stuff.
Don't send me an AIM message about the OC. Nobody uses forums anymore.
What do they use?
Like Reddit or text messages.
Is Reddit not a forum?
No,
it's not. What is it?
It's not. It's not.
What would
a forum.
I call it?
You call it Reddit.
Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
I read it on Reddit.
Yeah, the point is, Elise, before I was so rudely interrupted, is I don't like DJ. What do you think DJ's name stands for? DJ's usually short for something. Diego
Why you
Juan.
say Diego?
Because he's Hispanic.
Why couldn't it be Donald?
He's Hispanic.
So, Don? Juan?
I'm going to look it up now. I'm going to look it up. DJ.
DJ Tanner?
OC.
Donna Joe? It's just going to be DJ. They're not going to tell what his actual name is.
No, he's got to have a name.
No, he doesn't have a name. He's just DJ.
No, he's got to have a name.
No, he doesn't have a name. His name is DJ.
It's definitely short for something.
Just because you have the periods doesn't mean that it's short for something.
That's literally what it means.
No. It means the end of a sentence.
Unfortunately, I am not able to find out what DJ means.
Because they didn't bother to take that much time.
I'm telling you,
into
it's
him.
Diego. Or it's Don Juan. Ew, that's what it is.
I already
like
said
it.
Don Juan.
Did you?
I did.
I don't listen to
Play
what you
it
say.
back.
I believe you. I just don't listen to you. See, I don't like DJ. I don't like the Marissa thing. That like all the other. It's funny because every other relationship in the show, I'm like, yes. DJ and Marissa, no.
Except Julie and Jimmy are no that.
Well, it's not happened yet. So spoilers. Thanks.
It already happened and you still weren't all on that.
Oh, you like their marriage?
Yes.
Yeah. Elise, what was your favorite part of the episode?
Speaking of couples, my new favorite couple, Zach and Summer, Ducky and Summer.
Oh.
Okay, do I like the nickname Ducky? No. Don't like
so
the nickname
bad.
Ducky. It was very annoying and very forced, but
I don't understand why it happened.
I do really like Zach.
Explain to me why she nicknamed him Ducky.
Speak of the devil. Cohen? Zach. Right, great, better. Hey!
A firm hug.
Sorry, Ducky.
Ducky?
We have nicknames.
We do?
Ducky. That's cute.
She just was trying to think of a nickname so that she could make herself seem like she was more invested and everybody else thought that they were at that level.
This is what I'm worried about. And I think the show is sending me conflicting signals here. Because on the one hand, the episode ends with Summer and Ducky watching
The Valley, her favorite show.
Her favorite show, the show that Seth never watched with her.
Yeah.
They're sitting down on the floor of her bedroom watching The Valley. She rests her head on his shoulder, and it seems like things are going pretty good in the Ducky relationship.
Yep. Ducky Goose. I just spit.
You did your Moira from from Schitt's Creek voice
Did
again.
I?
You did.
I didn't even realize
did.
it.
But on the other hand, like this episode is filled with Summer like unable to like stop talking about Seth. Like everything until this episode has been Seth's inability to stop thinking and talking about Summer. But like when they're at the bait shop, like Summer cannot like, I better go talk to her. I better go warn her, talking about Seth's date, who is Lindsay. I better go talk to her. I better go warn her. She doesn't know what she's getting into, blah, 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 blah. And she can't stop talking about
And
him.
anytime that someone comes up and people are like, "Oh, he's coming this way," she's like, "Cohen, Cohen."
Yeah. Yeah.
She wants it to be Cohen,
Right.
but she likes Ducky.
So that's,
too.
I mean, that's the thing is I think, and I do actually kind of like that at this point in the episode or in the season, I don't know what they're going to do because on the one hand, everything with Zach is going wonderfully. On the other hand, she's clearly not over Cohen yet. And that is going to continue to be a contentious thing, especially when Cohen starts getting the moves on with purple hair.
Alex.
Yeah.
Her name is Alex.
Purple hair. Purple hair.
Olivia Wilde.
Purple hair McSwoop is what I call her.
So was your Rose. You already, I guess, kind of shared it because you wanted it to be the Killers, but you didn't know if you could have it be
Yeah.
the Killers. So then it ended up being...
Your Rose is one half of the old Summer-Seth relationship, and my Rose is the other half of the old Summer-Seth relationship. Because my favorite part of this episode is Alex's chemistry with Seth Cohen.
Okay, tell me about that chemistry, Scott.
it's-
What chemistry do they have?
They have the chemistry of
what?
They're adorable.
Of young
together.
lovers?
Yes, they're adorable together. Holy shit, they're adorable together. And I didn't even see it at first, but it's so there. Like
These tall, dangly
yeah.
people.
So
Hard to believe all those girls running out on you.
It'll make me try and feel better.
What with you being so bratty and immature.
Oh, good, you weren't.
And even sometimes
a little charming. Especially when you're not talking about Summer.
I know.
And knowing is half the battle, so perhaps there's a little hope for you yet.
You wanna go maybe get an ice cream or something?
Ice cream as a nightcap.
Yeah.
You really are 8.
And 3/4.
So the whole conceit of this episode is that Seth is looking for a new girl.
Yeah.
And Seth decides that he wants it to be Lindsay, who is the girl that you hate. The girl that Ryan met in last week's episode.
Yeah, so annoying. Still annoying.
So Ryan asks Lindsay to go on a date. Lindsay says yes, thinking it's with Ryan, but it's actually with Seth.
Look, for all I know, you have a boyfriend, so there's no point in me even asking you.
I don't have a boyfriend.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah, don't remember then.
Right. Well, I was wondering if you would maybe want to, maybe, and feel free to say no, go out on a date.
Okay, sure.
Yeah? Great. So you'll go out with Seth?
What?
Yeah, you'll go on a date with Seth?
Yes, Seth. You want me to go out with Seth? And I said yes. So, yes.
Great.
So then Ryan...
Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about Ryan at all until just now.
That's because...
Nobody cares about Ryan.
blah, Ryan. So Ryan is going on a date with Alex. Seth is going on a date with Lindsay. And there's this wonderful scene in the middle of the episode when they're at the bait shop at the Killers concert when you realize that neither of these people have anything in common and they need to swap. They're with the exact wrong person. And I'm so happy that eventually happens because Alex basically calls Ryan out on it. It's like, you like her. Go talk to her. You like her. And then she kisses Seth
What? On the mouth?
The mouth flaps.
Mouth flaps.
Yeah.
Ew.
It's a functional, accurate description is what it is, Elise. The mouth flaps. They're flaps for your mouth.
I just don't think I like the word flaps.
Mouth flaps, mouth flaps, mouth flaps.
It's disgusting.
Blah, 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 blah. Mouth flaps.
Okay, mouth flaps.
And I like it. I like their...
You like mouth flaps?
Here's what I love about Alex.
Do you like my mouth flaps?
Yes, I love your mouth flaps.
Thank you.
I don't know what you're going for there. Elise is puckering her mouth flaps right now. So this is the most ridiculous episode. People listen to this. Can you believe it?
No, they don't. They just skip over it. They're like, what is this?
So I love Alex. And I love that Alex calls Seth out on his bullshit. Like, one of the things she does in this episode is like, you're stuck up and conceited and can't stop talking about Summer. But sometimes, especially when you're not talking about Summer, you're kind of charming.
Kind of.
And she really... And then she's the one that kisses him after he invites her out to ice cream, and she calls him 8 years old again. But I like her. I think she's really interesting.
I like her too.
I think she's moved out of just the stereotype of the rocker chick. And she's interesting. She's still got her purple swoop. Still got her swoopy McPurples.
Well, yeah.
But I like it. I liked her hairdo better in this episode.
Just like you like my hairdo better this episode.
I do. It's so much nicer.
Thank you for complimenting it when I got home. That was really nice of you.
You're welcome. So anything else that we didn't talk about in our Rosies and Thornies you wanted to talk about? Like I said, there's this Caleb Sandy thing that I don't know what's going. Here's the one.
Oh, you'll figure it out.
Here's the one thing I loved about the Caleb Sandy thing. Caleb calls Sandy Sandman.
You know, this is the start of a new era for us, Sandman.
That's my favorite thing ever. Oh, come on, Sandman.
You're going to watch this whole season through.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to know what it is. And then you're going to watch back on this episode and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, duh. I can't believe they did it and made it that obvious.
Okay. Weird. Okay. Now I'm trying to rack my brain about what crazy thing this could be. It's really weird, and I have no idea what it is. But
you will.
Sandman. Do you know the scene
Mr. Sandman.
You know the scene when Sandman and Caleb are going to breakfast in the morning, and like Caleb keeps talking about the frittata.
Yeah,
I liked that.
He says
scene.
frittata weird.
He says
one of them says it.
frittata.
They do a delicious frittata here. You a frittata man? I'm fine.
It's like
Hakuna
frittata.
I'm glad both of us went there.
Yeah, of course we did. But have you ever in your life, like, I have never in my life been so busy that someone's like, hey, you want some food? And I'm like, not right now. I'm too busy. That's a thing in.
Oh no, I've done that before.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
I get really busy at work.
No, you don't. Not busy enough to stop for a frittata.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can we have a frittata over here? Are you too busy for a frittata, ma'am? Ma'am, frittata.
Not busy. Too busy for a frittata.
What a wonderful phrase. Yeah, so pretty good episode overall. I really into the. I really liked your choice. I did hate the name Ducky. Isn't Ducky the guy from Pretty in Pink? Or 16 Candles? Which one? I'm gonna look it up.
I think it's 16 Candles. Or maybe it's Pretty in Pink. Yeah, it's definitely one of those.
It is Pretty in Pink. Yeah, Ducky's the like. That's a terrible thing to call him.
Is that what she was calling him for?
Huh?
Is that why she was calling him that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know, but it's not good news for their relationship because in the end, does she choose Ducky in 16 Candles? Pretty in Pink? Fuck, I fucked it up again. Does she choose Ducky in Pretty in Pink?
No. I don't remember.
She doesn't. She does not choose Ducky.
It's been so long since I've seen it. Okay, Scott.
Uh-huh.
I think we've talked about the highs and the lows
We have.
of our own favorites. So let's talk about the highs and the lows of your favorite thing, the fashion. Let's welcome to Scott's Style Corner.
Vogue.
Scott's Style Session.
Elise once again forgot to make a jingle for us. I don't have a lot to talk about.
I think we should do it with Vogue, though.
Like, Vogue.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I'm going to think on that.
Okay. I'm doing the Vogue
Let
thing.
your body move the music. Hey, hey, hey.
So I don't have a lot to talk about this week.
Okay.
Thing number one, I think the fashion designers of this episode were listening to your complaints about Lindsay's outfits last week because they have fixed her clothing a little bit.
Except for the fact that her pants are like falling off. They're so low. But that was a
the
trend.
Style.
I know, because I was not allowed to wear super low jeans.
You poor girl. You poor girl.
You have to have the bottom of your top meet the top of your jeans.
That she was not doing that.
No, she was not.
She was like, speaking of Pretty in Pink, she was all up in pink.
She was, but she looked good in pink.
She had a pink blazer on, with a pink, and I think she had pink jeans too, right?
She had khakis, but she had a pink belt on.
Yeah, okay. She looks good. It's like, oh wait, we don't have to dress her like she's a 40-year-old man. So they got creative with it.
Way to go.
Unfortunately, they used all the creative juices on Lindsay, and they left none for Marissa.
It was like, hey, what do we got on hanger number 2? I don't know. Let's pair it with hanger number 12.
Marissa is wearing. Okay. Yes. I don't even know how to begin to describe.
Okay, first of all, let me say this.
Please paint us a mental picture.
Every single one of these articles of clothing could be good in isolation.
Sure.
The brooch by itself, worn a different way, could be nice.
No, I hate the brooch. It's awful.
Okay, but let's start with the bottom.
Okay.
First of all, the shoes, which you don't have in this picture, are flats because Marissa is typically in flats because she is so tall compared to all of the other people in the cast.
Sure.
Okay, her pants
They're like,
are these long dress pants that are plaid.
Yeah, they're
but
plaid.
they're actually too long for her because they're probably designed to be worn with heels, which she's not allowed to wear right now. So they look like they're really bunched and probably dragging on the bottom. Okay, so then she's also wearing this white 3/4 length top that is really just like a dress shirt, and the sleeves are a little bit puffier. They're like a long puff sleeve. It's actually kind of coming back into trend right now. But what she is wearing on top of that, that's the thing. Like if she didn't have this tank top V sweater vest.
It's brown. It's
with
like poop brown.
With a brooch probably the size of
your heart, the human heart.
A giant oatmeal cream pie.
That's we went an entirely different direction, but both are true. Continue.
And then she's wearing a hat. Now, the hat is also a plaid, but not the same type of plaid as her pants.
It doesn't match.
It's a different plaid.
It's like
and different colors, yes. And then there's this bow on the back of it. It's just like,
my God.
There's too many different things going on.
You remember in the golf episode when they went like way too far with the golf attire, like way too ridiculous with it? It's like that.
That's true.
Except she's not golfing.
That's true.
I think the hat looks bad.
The hat would never work in anything.
The hat looks bad from the front. And then she turns around and there's this big fucking Kelly green bow in the back of it. That's the grossest thing I've ever seen.
So
it's disgusting.
Here's the thing.
It's disgusting.
The number one thing that would make this outfit 10 times better.
Teach me your ways.
Get rid of the hat.
Rid of the hat. Throw it.
If I had another thing that I could do, I would get rid of the brooch.
Melt the brooch down.
Because without the brooch and the hat, you could see where it could be something decent. It could be trendy for the age that you're in, but it's just that.
Ugh,
it's
Marissa.
like so. When you're a woman and you're getting dressed, there's the 14 rule.
I'm sorry. What?
14. You should always add up to 14.
What?
Every article of clothing is 2. So 2 for my pants, 2 for my shirt. So that's 4. Shoes. 6. Jewelry. If I wear like a ring, that's 8.
Okay.
Necklace, 12. Earrings, 14. That's a complete outfit. If you exceed 14, it's too much.
Why don't they just call it the 7 rule and make everything count as one thing?
I don't know. I think that technically you could weight different like types of shoes, different numbers, but I forgot about that rating. I just know that it was 14.
Being a woman sounds hard.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad.
Figure out 14, you're good.
I'm glad I'm not that. Speaking of a woman, next to Marissa, we have the only other person I want to talk about is Summer's outfit. Not because I don't like it. She's wearing a skirt that I think is the skirt that Alicia Silverstone wore in Clueless.
Yeah, it's a Clueless skirt.
Yeah, it's like a yellow argyle.
Let's just talk about her boots.
They're like I don't like them.
No, they don't go with this. They make her look like a skank.
Oh, damn. She's also wearing a North Carolina t-shirt.
Yeah, graphic tees were all the rage.
But North Carolina?
Yeah. Did you not see the other little slogan on it?
No, what did it say?
Something about she likes it better on top.
Oh, because it's on top of South Carolina.
Yeah.
Gross, Summer. They would not let her wear that at school.
Yeah, they would.
Ew, Summer.
That's why she's wearing it. Not because she like visited North Carolina. It's because of the other little slogan.
Well, I like that now.
Okay.
Summer's the best.
Yeah, I know you.
Summer and Ducky.
Forever.
That's all I had for Scott's style section. Marissa gets an F. F for fucking take that off.
I think you should give phrases like that for every letter grade.
Okay.
What did Summer get?
Summer got a B.
Which is?
For boots, gotta go.
I love it. I love it. Okay, are we ready for relationship status?
We are. Let's finish this episode.
Okay, you're going to start us off with Seth and Summer.
All right, Seth and Summer. Oh, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Last week we gave him a 1 out of 10, and this week Elise has taken over the ratings of relationship status.
And who is that?
And Elise,
you gave me the reins.
And Elise is much stricter than I would be on relationships.
I'm super cutthroat, Scott.
Yeah.
Haven't you learned that about me?
So Elise has moved Seth and Summer to a 0 out of 10, which means per our bylines, Cheerio. What are you doing?
Sayonara. Cheerio.
Syria?
Yeah, I combined them.
Cyrano de Bergerac. Yeah, they're off the list.
I think I'm tired.
I think you are too. They are off the list. Seth and Summer off the list. I can't believe this has happened. What is going on with the world? But they both got new booze, so I guess we'll deal with that in the coming weeks.
Yep.
Elise, tell me about the Coens.
Well, Sandy and Kirsten Cohen last week, they were at a 7 out of 10. This week, they're still at a 7 out of 10. Not much has happened in the Sandy-Kirsten relationship other than they are doing things both individually, but collectively. They are still seemingly a strong couple. We do need to have their house finish the renovation because how long can this last?
Yeah,
But
I think Sandy was like watching TV in an empty room. There's just one
eating
couch in the room.
Cheetos.
And it's like, what's going on? Why don't they have furniture in their living room?
Yeah, they
yet?
got to wait till that pole comes back. So then they don't have to move the wall out 10 inches. Remember, Scott?
Yeah, but they need a new contractor,
Yep.
right?
Okay, tell me about Julie and Caleb.
Well, last week we gave them a 5 out of 10, right down the middle. This week, Julie might destroy the company, and Caleb has another secret with another woman who he's passing large stacks of cash.
Yeah.
So we're going to bump them down a point because they've got secrets, and we don't like secrets here in the OC, so they get a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, they do.
Minus 1 point for secrets.
So Jimmy and Haley last week were at a 2 out of 10. This week they are gone. 0 out of 10 because she's gone. They're done. Goodbye, couple number 2.
Yeah, I think we left them on the list because we weren't sure if she was truly gone, but it seems like she's truly gone. So
At least for now.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right,
Zach and Summer.
Next we have Zach and Summer,
My
the
faves.
power couple to beat all power couples.
Okay.
Last week we gave them a 7 out of 10. This week we leave it at a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Ducky has a nickname now and watches the Valley, but they're done with the Ducky nickname by the end of the show.
But he has the nickname, and we can't demote their numbers because Zach always puts forth the effort to work things out in the end. Way to go, Zach.
Even when his girlfriend is spending the entire night talking about her ex, Zach is still cool
As a cucumber.
as a cucumber.
Yep. Okay.
You know what I'm upset about?
Why?
It has been 3 weeks since we have talked about the comic book league, and I'm starting to get worried about the comic book league. How is it going?
Don't get worried about the comic book
Okay,
league.
good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. So Marissa and DJ the Yard Guy last week were at a 2 out of 10. This week they're at a 3 out of 10.
Oh, great.
Because they cuddle on the pier and Marissa apologizes.
Great. Awesome.
Yep.
You
They are
still
moving
harsh.
on up.
Like 3 out of 10 is still pretty harsh for these folks.
Scott,
Huh.
let me rate how I want to rate.
okay.
If
Ryan?
I'm the one that rates it, everyone gets an even fair shot.
Ryan and Lindsay, last week we gave them a 2 out of 10. This week we're going to bump them up 2 points because there was a little...
They didn't kiss.
Oh, that's the other people. This week they sat at a bus stop and talked in a montage. I pointed out to you as we were watching this that Ryan doesn't talk in this show, but anytime they have a point where they need him to talk a lot, they just do it in montage, so we can't actually hear what he's saying. We just see that he's talking to
Yes.
someone.
Yes. His
so-
acting skills are
Yeah, it's
so wonderful.
so wonderful.
So good.
Why
Yeah.
isn't he a superstar? I don't know.
You know, he's just in Gotham. That's it. Batman.
Tell me about the last and
Not
newest
Superman.
addition to the list, Elise.
We have Alex and Seth. Last week, not even on the board. This week, they're starting out at a 4 out of 10 because she kisses Seth and Scott. They go get ice cream. But not only that, Alex wears the CBGB shirt, which we know Seth said the bait shop is like the CBGB. So
Everybody loves the CBGB.
they're a match made in heaven, Scott. But they're a slow burn to start. 4 out of 10.
All right.
Okay, Scott, what do you think is going to happen next week? Did you already look up the next week's episode title?
I did not. I
You do that every week,
'cause it's
Scott.
not on the script
Well, you
anymore.
should put it on the
It's
script
not on
so
the
that you
script
remember to
anymore.
do it. And so that this time next week, we don't have to have me pretend to stall enough time in order to get you to pull up the title of this next week's episode, which is called
Oh, you ain't pretending, baby. You're stalling like a champion. Next week's
Like a Titan?
No. Next week's episode is called The Snow Sea. It's not the Christmas one because I see the episode after this one has Christmaka in it. But it's
which
going to
means
be
it's going to be the best episode.
yeah, it's going to be a winter episode. But I just accidentally closed the script, so that's all we had for you guys this week.
But it really is all that we had.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It is.
Next-
If you like the show, you can see it and all the other podcasts we do over at our website. That's doofmedia.com. You can subscribe to us on any podcasting platform, and you can support the show on Patreon. That's patreon.com/doofmedia.
I could have
Elise,
done that.
How does that work? Tell me how that works.
You go to the website.
Which website is it again?
Patreon.com/doofmedia.
And what do you do?
And then you give money.
All right.
And then you get prizes or things for it.
Okay.
And you get my love. Because my love is conditional. Scott knows that. It's about time you all learned it too.
Yeah, maybe I should go ahead and donate to the Patreon so at least will love me again.
It's a good idea.
All right, folks, we'll see you next week when we talk about episode 5, The Snow Sea.